start off by making this lemon drink. Goes into a half of a liter of water, 500 ml. Okay, again, we have our moist towelette, our gum, our toothpick, toothbrush if we need it, and our lemon drink. This is going to be kind of like tuna surprise or sandwich time. We'll bust out both of our Bridgeford whole wheat breads. And these have had a slight redesign. They're not the pressed ones that actually tried to mimic a piece of bread. These kind of remind me of how we had them back in the good old days when I was in. You actually got your own little pack of bread on the side. So I have two of those, and we're going to split one of these, or maybe even both of them, because we're going to try to make a PB&J or a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And then I have both of these packs of tuna. I was really considering using one of these with my evening meal or my main, but it's beef and mashed potatoes, and tuna is just not going to go with that. Now, in reality, there's nothing like a good bread knife to help you cut bread or to make pieces out of it. But that's one thing that I've never seen in anybody's kits or anything, is a good bread knife. So we'll just have to settle for this this Mora knife. And reasonably successful. Alright, split the other one just so I can say it. My spoon is available for duty. Gonna give this a really good knead. It is a little solid on the bottom. You use very liquid on the top, so you need to get those oils back into the peanut butter. And one thing I noticed when I was kneading this, unlike a lot of other countries, this is pretty much just straight up peanuts, a little bit of salt. Is that where the thing is? Yeah. A little bit of salt and one other ingredient. So this is legit peanut butter, and is made in Denmark. If you get the processed peanut butter like you get in the States, some of it has xylitol in it. And if you feed your dogs or you give your dogs little bites, well, xylitol can be poisonous to a pet. So I always keep that in mind when I let my pups snack on these stuff as well. Tried using the handy dandy pull tab, and guess what? It just didn't work. So let's grab the Magic Mora knife, the knife that can do anything from bushcrafting to slicing bread. Let's open up our marmalade. Let me just smooth this out really quick. It is soupy, I will tell you that. It's not as thick as you might be used to, but that's never stopped me as far as peanut butter goes. It doesn't look the most appetizing, but I'm sure it's going to taste pretty darn good. Alright, I'm going to stick that over there along with my spoon. Now this one, of course, we will use the tuna. This is tuna in water. This is probably going to not be the greatest, seeing how it has no flavoring. But we do have salt and we do have pepper to aid this on. And it's kind of nice because you get the water, it'll help soften up the bread a little bit. We'll set that right there. And we'll do the same thing with a tuna lemon pepper. Come out! Just no! So you can see the slight difference. This one does have a little bit of pepper in it. Well, alligator, she just smelled the tuna, and I look right over my shoulder, and Sherman is staring at me saying, it's about that time. Hurry up and eat so we can try our sample. Well, let's do this. All right. Try the peanut butter and jelly on the Bridgeford bread. And it's what you would kind of expect from like a natural peanut butter. It's not creamy, it's a little grainy because it's got those peanuts in there, and a little more oily than you might be used to. But if you like natural stuff, it is pretty darn tasty. And then you get that sweetness of that jam in there. Yeah, it just works. Peanut butter and jelly is really good for your body too, because it stays with you. It's consistent energy over a long period of time. Now let's try the tuna, lime, and pepper. Yeah, that was a good idea right there. Not sarcasm either. The bread gives you a little bit of that firmness, and the tuna is moist, and that lime flavor carries over, and you get that little hint of pepper. That is a winner. Winner, winner. Now the tuna with water, we saw when we opened this up, a lot of that water kind of spilled out, which we're going to imagine helping soften this bread. But this is unflavored tuna. It's good, it's moist. This one would definitely need a little bit of salt, a little bit of seasoning of some type to help wake it up. I imagine if you had a little garlic powder on there, boy, that would be perfect. A little flecks of hot red pepper, yeah. And yeah, I know this would not be the easiest meal or the quickest meal or the most conducive to have on the move or anything like that. But you could always just take a bite of your sandwich and suck out a little bit of your peanut butter and eat it while you were walking or whatever. But if you had time to actually sit down, this might not be a bad way to go. Let's polish this off with our lemon drink. That's really good too, because it's really refreshing. It's not overly sweet, and you get that nice little hint of lemon in there. It's probably the best glass of MRE or Ration lemonade I think I've had doing this. It's actually kind of good. All right, let's get on to dinner. All right, we still have 3 beverages left. I just literally got done with the lemonade, and in fact, I still have some left. So I'm going to forgo the peach, so we'll make the Thai food tea, and we'll make this chocolate drink. All right, this one is 200 ml of water. Let that sit for a second. And this is just your standard mug of tea. Now the main is mashed potatoes with beef, and it calls for 440 milliliters. That's awfully specific. You think they would have added a little more to round that off to 450. But I digress. So mashed potatoes. This time we're going to tamp this down so we don't have another spill. And this says pour in the water and let sit for 8 minutes. Wow, that is a ton of water. And give that a stir down at the bottom. The nice thing about these, this type of container or flexible can or package, is it doesn't really have any corners. The bottom makes it kind of like a perfect bowl. Bless you guys for coming up with that. Alright, while we're waiting for the tea to steep and the 8 minutes for our main, got my wet wipe, again some gum, sugar if I need it for the tea, toothpick, here's a cup of coffee if I need it for later, and of course some salt and pepper. Now the only other thing that really comes with this, and why it might be beneficial to keep one of those breads, if you were inclined to do so, because honestly, those 2 pieces of bread, all that tuna, and the PB&J, that was actually kind of a lot, and it kind of filled me up. But if I'm out moving around, it's probably not going to make much of a difference. But I've got my chocolate bar. Let's try to open this thing up. I'm curious what this thing is going to look like. Wow, I have never seen a chocolate bar have so much heat damage that I had a hole in the middle of it. It's a first. What can you say? I don't know. I don't know where or how this was stored. I don't really recall hearing about the great huge heat wave Europe was having in Northern Europe, but wow, that is some serious chocolate bloom. I'm sure it still tastes pretty decent though. It looked like you would get something out of like a World War II package. Then I got my spicy sauce. We'll hang on to that. We may need it with this. Alright, let me slide the chocolate drink over and my tea. Now I was curious about this. I picked this thing up, and this Voyager brand, which is actually produced in France, and I know that because of the muesli that I would get like an RCIR that's where it was from, and that's where the company was from. But anyway, I picked this thing up and I was like, man, this is pretty heavy. So I went ahead and weighed it on my scale. It's 1.3 pounds or 546 grams. So all that stuff I was saying, well, you know, this might not be enough to eat. I think I'm going to eat my words. Well, literally. Because that is a substantial amount of food for one sitting. And this isn't even like a stew. Now, I don't know how I'm really going to get this out of here looking at it. It's like a solid mass of mashed potatoes with some beef chunks in there. Wow, it smells absolutely awesome though. I didn't get all of the water to the bottom, so I do have some flakage right here, which is kind of disappointing. Guess that's a fail on my part, but the top has completely done its thing. In fact, let me try to zoom in a little bit on this. Oh, that kind of blows, man. I even stirred this. Well, maybe you need even more than the prescribed amount of water. It is a mountain of mashed potatoes. Looks like it's got little onion bits in there, or maybe chives. Let me figure it out for you. Alright, it says potato flakes, beef meat, antioxidants, sunflower oil, milk proteins, poultry stock, what else? Chicken fat, yeast, onion, chicken meat, garlic, spices, rosemary extract, salt. Oh. Alright, let's take a look at this. Some of it's kind of hard to see because, I mean, it literally is all mashed potato, and you can see the little bits of beef in there and those spices and things. Just give that a try. Alright, on its own, it's bland. There's nothing else to say about it. The mashed potatoes are just bland. You know, and you have to have it bland for everybody's palate. Fortunately, we have some of this spicy sauce and some salt and pepper, but this would be like a perfect opportunity for like butter buds or something like that. So I'm going to grab some of this and put it over here. And I'm going to get my spicy sauce. And we'll put it on here, and geez, maybe. Oh, you gotta be fuck. Yeah, that just happened. All over the chocolate drink. Let's do it live. That's what they said. All right. Let's try it with the spicy sauce and see how that is. It just tastes like a really zippy kind of Tabasco sauce. It's not it just gives heat. It doesn't really have a whole lot of flavor. And man, this thing shot everywhere. I mean, it went about a foot that way. So I got some cleaning to do after this review's done, that's for sure. Put a little salt and pepper on here, see if that helps zip it up. Oh man, this is just one of those reviews where just having a tough go at it. Seeing how I poured out half the contents of the salt right here, this should be spiced up. Yeah. Okay, let's be smart. Let's try mixing that in. I ordinarily don't do a whole lot of mixing, but all right. Yeah, that's better. You can taste the seasoning through the thing, even through all of the flakes themselves. Overall, not bad. Let's wash that out with some tea. You can see more casualty from the spicy sauce. Man, that stuff got everywhere. I'm going to try the hot chocolate drink. That's pretty good. I still believe that the Dutch hot chocolate is still the winner. Try a little bit. This poor, abused chocolate bar. Even though it looks like it's been on the face of the moon for a quarter of a century, it still is pretty good. It still has that nice dark chocolate flavor. And when it starts to dissolve in your mouth, it's got that nice little silky texture, which is nice. All right, dinner was a colossal mess. Let me grab my moist towelette, my gum, and my toothbrush and finish this thing out. Start off with cleaning the hands and the face. Pick our teeth with a toothpick or dental stimulator. Get all the nasties out of those crevices of our teeth with our dental gum. Just one piece. Finish that off with our toothbrush, getting everything else. And just so you know, there is toothpaste impregnated in the brush. That is the answer to the question from earlier. That is a neat trick. And then we'll follow that up with our last piece of gum. Okay, this was a review of a Denmark or Danish 24-hour ration. Menu number 11, beef with potatoes. It should say a review in colossal failure with the main for dinner. But I digress. All right, everybody. See you next time. Bye.